I want to bring in Pat Milton. She is with our CBS News investigative unit. Pat, what more do we know about how authorities found Sweat?
Well, we know that earlier in the afternoon, residents had reported a sighting, and that brought law enforcement to the area. We're told by sources that it was New York State police troopers that engaged Sweat, and that is when he was shot.
Let me ask you this, Pat. Do we know how early, before the other convict was killed by law enforcement, do we know how early these two guys split off and went their own ways?
Well, there was evidence today that we received from our sources that said that there was a DNA match of Sweat at the site where, in the general area where Matt was killed. So we know at that point they were together. So there is speculation, that it's only conjecture, that when they were engaged with Matt, Sweat took off.
Let's talk about Mr. Matt. Were his autopsy results released today?
Yes, I believe that they were, and they were indicating that he was shot in the head by U.S. Border Patrol agents. You know that he had refused to comply with their orders to put his hands up, and that they opened fire on him when he refused. So again, there is speculation that when those shots began to be fired, when there was confrontation with Matt, Sweat took off.
Do we know how far it's been, Pat, from the prison where they escaped to where at least Matt and now Sweat were found?
I think they're thinking around 25 miles for where Matt was, and then he was just northwest. Sweat was just northwest of there. I think it was maybe 5 miles. He was 3 miles from the Canadian border. And then we know that we've been told that they're taking him by ambulance down to Malone, New York, which is where Matt was killed.
And we have a live picture from outside the hospital. There is a heavy police presence right now. Again, we're being told that Sweat is still alive at this time. He is suffering from a gunshot wound. There is the ambulance right there, presumably en route to the hospital. And I tell you what, this town in the area, what has it been like for them, Pat? You know, the people who are living there, locking their doors, keeping one eye open at night, wondering if their home is the one that these two guys are going to break into.
Well, I think it's been frightening for residents. You know, this is a summer area, vacation cabin. Some people didn't even come up to their vacation homes this month. Others that are there, they're keeping vigilant watch. They're keeping their doors locked. They don't want to go out and fish. They certainly don't want to go out and go hunting or walking or hiking in the woods. So it's been a very tense time for the residents. Some of the residents that were talked to said that they too had arms and they were keeping their weapons nearby.
Pat, has there been confirmation that either of the suspects broke into cabins and were able to sleep there, maybe get some food, shower?
Yes, they had 2 or 3 confirmations from law enforcement that they had indeed broken into these cabins. And in fact, the last cabin that was broken into, half of the gin was gone from the gin bottle. So they were using it. We had confirmation by law enforcement today that Matt was both sick with dysentery and he was intoxicated when he was shot.